Have you ever sat in complete silence and just listened? Not to music, not to the voices of others, but to the quiet hum of life, the whisper of the wind, the rhythm of your own breath, the gentle ticking of time. In a world that celebrates noise, there is a quiet revolution taking place, a return to stillness, a rediscovery of silence. And those who embrace IT are often the ones who understand life the most. Let's talk about the power of silence and why the quiet ones are often the wisest. We live in an era where speaking loudly is mistaken for confidence, where sharing every thought is seen as bravery, where the one who talks the most is often assumed to know the most. But wisdom doesn't shout. It whispers ... We're constantly connected. Notifications, messages, breaking news, endless commentary. There's barely a moment to just be. But here's the paradox. The more we fill our lives with noise, the harder it becomes to hear our own inner voice. And if we can't hear ourselves, how can we truly know who we are? Silence is not empty. It is a mirror. It reflects back to us who we truly are when the masks fall away. In silence, you meet your fears. In silence, you face your doubts. But you also discover your strength. Because silence demands presence. It forces you to be with yourself, not as the world sees you, but as you are. That's why many avoid it. Because the truth found in silence can be uncomfortable, but it is also deeply healing. When we allow ourselves to be still, we allow the wisdom within us to rise. Quiet people are often misunderstood. They're seen as shy, distant, or even weak. But in truth, the quiet ones are the observers. They listen more than they speak. They process, reflect, and see the deeper layers. They speak less, but when they do, their words carry weight, because their words are chosen with care, not for reaction, but for meaning. They know that silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. A glance, a pause, a presence. These are the languages of the quiet soul. And often, it is the quiet one in the room who understands the most. Great minds throughout history have honored silence. Lao Tzu wrote, "Silence is a source of great strength." Pythagoras, the Greek philosopher, demanded 5 years of silence from his students before they could speak. Even the Buddha taught that speech should pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Only then should words be spoken. The Stoics practiced silence as a way to master the self. They believed that in silence, emotions could be examined and clarity could be restored. Mystics meditated in caves for years, not to escape the world, but to better understand it. Creativity blooms in silence. Writers, painters, composers, they all retreat into solitude to create. It is in the absence of noise that new ideas emerge. Think of the greatest breakthroughs in history. They often came not in chaos, but in stillness. Newton under the apple tree, Einstein walking alone, Beethoven sitting in silence with his deafness. The quiet is not a void. It is a canvas, and the brush of the soul paints best when the world is still. In relationships, silence is often misunderstood. We rush to fill every pause, afraid that stillness might mean disconnection. But true connection doesn't always need words. Sometimes the most intimate moments are shared in silence. A gentle gaze, a hand held, a breath shared. Silence allows space for presence, for understanding, for love to be felt rather than spoken. The deepest bonds are often formed in the quiet moments in between. So how can you bring more silence into your life? Start small. Spend 10 minutes a day in quiet. No phone, no distractions. Just sit, breathe, observe. Practice listening, truly listening to others, not waiting for your turn to speak, but hearing what is not being said. Try walking without music, eating without television, being present in the mundane. Keep a journal. Let your thoughts spill onto the page so they don't clutter your mind. Schedule silent time. Protect it like you would an important meeting, because your relationship with silence is a meeting with your truest self. Silence is the foundation of clarity. It is the soil in which wisdom grows. So next time you meet someone quiet, don't assume they have little to say. They might just be listening, learning, understanding. They might just be walking a path that few dare to tread, the path of deep awareness, because in the end, true power doesn't need to announce itself. It simply is. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. In the age of endless chatter, choosing silence is an act of rebellion. And in that rebellion, we rediscover something ancient, something eternal, ourselves.